You are watching Political Point Magazine, where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, Donald Trump says the system is rigged and corrupt and unfair, and the rules need to be changed. Is he right? Well, we will take a look into that. And there's a victory for Trump. Trump's campaign manager will not be charged. The Florida district did not bring charges, and that's a good thing for the campaign. And the GOP candidates speak at a New York gala in a hotel that Trump built. Yeah, man. Ahead of the New York primary, which is tomorrow. And Political Point addresses reasons to support Donald Trump for president. We will talk about all of this and more when we take it to the phones and talk to you, the viewers, tonight. Monday. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Political Point Magazine. And now, where to start? Man, things are getting kind of in your face, I should say. All right. But now, there's things that have been popping up in the news that, you all know that the candidates now, from both sides, have been campaigning in New York, right? That's right. Okay, have been campaigning in New York. Now, and we all know that, and I showed some of the clips last week on this show of Donald Trump and Ted Cruz going out at it over New York values, and also we talked about how the voters did not vote in Colorado, last week, because they decided to have a convention style election process in which the delegates and the bigwigs all got together, and they decided to take things into their own hands here. Okay? Now, but let me get into the top story for the night here. All right? Of which, okay, now, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz have clashed over the rules for such, and Donald Trump, and now people are actually coming to Donald Trump's defense on this. But Trump says that the system is rigged and corrupt. Okay, rigged and corrupt. Okay, we shall take a listen to what Trump has said on this. All right, and but and we asked the question: is Trump right? Okay, but Trump has said that that says that that our political system is rigged. All right, on this note here, but take a look at this. All right, and this is what Trump has said of
Big system. So in Colorado, there was. So what's happening? It's a fix because if I go to the vote in Colorado, we win in Colorado. So it's a crooked system.
Cruz is just
okay. Well, anyways, that was Trump. He said it's a crooked system. Okay, and it's unfair, and the rules need to be changed. Is he right on this? Now, with all of this going on now, I believe that Trump has said, and he's defended Bernie Sanders on this too, that the system is rigged against him, and I've even seen him do this from time to time in his speeches. Okay? But in this, the system is seems to be rigged against the outsiders like Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, and we need the rules changed or reformed, or the process. We need throughout this whole process. Okay, and you have seen how things happened now with this in Colorado, where they chose a convention style process to choose the candidates, or to choose the delegates for the candidates. All right, and it just was nasty. I didn't like it one bit. All right, because all throughout the rest of the process here, it has been left up to the voters to decide who picks the nominee. Okay, and the nominee and the candidate is mostly in charge. Okay. However, I do understand that these rules were made far beyond and before, well before Donald Trump ever ran for president. All right, and I'm well aware of that. But, however, the system, especially on the Democratic side, the system is really unfair, because the Democrats have the superdelegates, and they're racking up the superdelegates for Hillary Clinton. Okay, and Bernie Sanders should make a big fuss about this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Democratic convention goes to a contested convention, because the superdelegates are stacked against Bernie Sanders, and they're stacking the deck for Hillary. So, but anyhow, I see their point, though, that these rules were already in place. Everybody knew what was going on before they started running. Before they started running. But, however, I think what happened in Colorado was a damn shame. All right, and I think Trump is right on this, and more people now are coming to Trump's defense on this. Trump says the rules need to be changed. Okay, the rules need to be changed on this. Okay, but I do, and I think Trump is right on this, and now with all of this coming into play now, we see how corrupt the system really is. All right, but however, now we see another victory. Okay, so going forward now, we know that New York is New York is on its way to becoming the next primary that matters, you know. And you know, before Trump came into play, you know, New York wasn't even a key state. Now it's a key state, you know, and Trump has been bringing in new voters into the fray, and you know, and now we have the New York primary, which is tomorrow, my friends. All right, but now, and it goes without saying here. All right, and we're gonna get into a lot of things that have been in play here, but now there is now a victory for the Trump campaign, a victory for Trump on this note here. All right, and we're gonna get into that. Remember last week when I talked about Corey Lewandowski, or the week before that, okay, when Corey Lewandowski, Trump's campaign manager, was charged with simple battery. All right. Well, it turns out now that the courts in there, okay, now have decided. Okay, they now have decided. All right, and the Florida courts have now decided to drop charges on it. That's right. Okay, they have dropped charges. Take a look at the tape here. Okay, take a look at the tape. Here it is.
Has been directed to the back of the ballroom, as we indicated earlier, for the most part.
Could you show us again with the green dot where she is? Just
Sure.
so people
She's
follow
right
along
there.
and see where she is.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's
Mr.
right there.
Trump is where in Corey?
She's right there.
And Mr. Trump and Corey?
They're still in this scrum area.
That's where Donald Trump is at the top?
Yes, he's still in this area here. This is her here.
And so those are all the reporters at the back who've been directed to the back?
Yes. Okay, now she's
Show me
walking.
where Donald Trump is
This is
again.
her. She's moving.
There we go.
Okay, she's moving. She's now making her way back over. Now she's going in. This is when she goes into the protective area that she's not allowed to be in, basically. This is her here. This is Mr. Trump here.
And Corey's behind him. Mr. Lewandowski is behind him.
So here we go right here. This is where it happens. You see him pull his arm right there. That's Mr. Lewandowski there. Goes really quick, so we had to play it a few times ourselves just to capture it. But you can see where when she gets next to him, she touches him, and you see Mr. Trump recoil his arm like that. And that is the point in which Mr. Lewandowski reaches in, because from his vantage point, he is directly in that area where he can see her arm touching Mr. Trump. And he then reaches in and he grabs her arm to pull her to the side.
So that is a victory there. The Florida prosecutors on Thursday dropped charges on Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, saying that the strong-armed operative had Secret Service like authority and to keep Donald Trump in a protective bubble. All right. So Corey Lewandowski gets off scot-free, and there's no charges dropped. The charges are dropped on Corey Lewandowski because as they viewed the tape and as we showed the tape before, there was obviously no evidence of any battery in the tape. So now that that's over with, it's a victory for the Trump campaign. Okay, now, and it's a victory for the Trump campaign here. All right, that we see that now the campaign can go on further now and help Trump win this election. Okay, and when I think that Trump will make the magic number of 1237 before the convention. Okay, mind you, before the convention. All right. Okay. But now, let's see. Now, I want to get into some things here. All right. Now, first off, all of the candidates now have spoke at New York Gala last week. All right. And now this is a sure sign of unity, I believe. Okay. Okay. So let's first let me start with okay. Trump spoke first, and then Kasich spoke second, and then Cruz spoke third. Okay, last. All right. But first, I want to start with really with John Kasich first. All right. So here it is. Okay. So let's get to John Kasich first.
Governor George Pataki endorsed me for President of the United States, and he's going to be campaigning across this state and this country for me, and we're going to go to a convention. We are going to go to a convention. I've been saying it for months. And when we get to that convention, and when the delegates enter the hall, because I was there in '76 and I saw a convention that was contested, the delegates are going to think about two things. Number one, who can win in the fall? Because this is not about who can win a nomination. This is about who can win the White House and defeat Hillary Clinton, number one. And number two, because of the importance those delegates are going to inherit at that convention, they're also going to ask themselves, who at the end of the day has the experience and the record and the ability to bring this country together? Who can be the best president of the United States? And I maintain to you, I'm going to leave Cleveland as the nominee. Whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen. Thank you, New York, and I love you.
I really don't think Kasich is going to be the nominee. Okay, because as Ted Cruz said before, as Ted Cruz said before, the Republicans are not going to nominate somebody who's lost 49 states. Okay, so and the whole thing here now is and all over delegates and stuff, but Kasich is counting on a contested convention. Okay, and that's his only clear shot at winning. Because all of the polls say that Kasich is really the only one that can beat Hillary and beat Bernie Sanders. But I don't buy that. I think, and sure, he's a good governor of Ohio, and Ohio is the only state that he's won right now, and that tells me that Ohioans love John Kasich, but they want him to stay in Ohio, and do his job as governor. All right, because clearly he's not going to get the nomination, and I don't believe it's going to be a contested convention. Okay, it's not going to be a contested convention, my friends. Donald Trump will get the nomination. All right. Now, let's head on to Cruz here. All right.
And yet, in the 15 years since 9/11, many in Washington have forgotten. Today, when we see an attack, whether in Paris, whether in Brussels, whether in San Bernardino, inevitably President Obama goes on national television, refuses to say the words radical Islamic terrorism, and instead lectures the American people on Islamophobia. Well, I want to be clear that come January 27th...
Wait a minute. They had mic problems for as far as that, but I want to get into before his in his speech though, okay? Because now when I get to Trump though, and Trump's speech was the most presidential speech I have ever heard, and you're gonna love this. When Trump spoke, okay, he flipped the New York values thing on its head, okay, and he flipped it around, all right. And so here's Ted Cruz though, all right. Let me get into Ted Cruz here, all right. So take a look at this.
Well, everyone here understands that is not the case. The heart of our economy is not Washington, D.C. The heart of our economy is small businesses all across the United States of America. And to see the economy take off, it's very simple. You lift the boot of the federal government off the back of the necks of small businesses. If I'm elected president, we will repeal every word of Obamacare. We'll pass common sense health care reform, health insurance personal and portable and affordable, and keeps government from getting in between us and our doctors. And we will pass a simple flat tax. On Monday, it's tax day. Many people in this room will be writing very, very large checks. If I am elected, every one of us will fill out our taxes on a postcard, and we will abolish the IRS. And we're going to rein in the federal regulators that have descended on some small businesses of the country. We're going to stop and
sorry about that. I had a little trouble there, but no. But you see, I like his tax plan though, and that's the tax plan that most of the Republicans have been touting: a simple flat tax and get the IRS off our backs. Okay, wait a minute. Here's more of it.
And for working men and women, we're going to see opportunity growing as young people come out of school with 2, 3, 4, 5 job opportunities. That's what this election is about. Bringing back the opportunity that your parents and my parents had in America, the opportunity for anyone to start with nothing and achieve anything. The second critical issue in this election is freedom. You know, just a few weeks ago, with the passing of Justice Scalia, underscored the stakes of this election. Our Supreme Court is now perilously balanced 4-4. The next president will appoint 1, 2, maybe even 3 or 4 Supreme Court justices. If you care about religious liberty, about the freedom of every one of us, Christian and Jew, Muslim and atheist, to practice our faith, to live according to our conscience, free of government getting in the way, this election is pivotal. If you care about the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, this election is pivotal. if you care about preserving U.S. sovereignty from the international court and international law and maintaining the authority of we the people to decide our laws, this election is pivotal. And I give you my solemn commitment that every justice I appoint to the Supreme Court will be a principled constitutionalist who will follow the law, will follow the Constitution, and will not legislate from the bench. And the third critical issue in this election is security. For 7 years, we've seen an administration that abandons our friends and allies, and that shows weakness and appeasement to our enemies. 3 years ago, I was at this dinner. If I'd have suggested at this dinner 3 years ago that the elected Prime Minister of Israel would come to the United States as a joint session of Congress, and he would be boycotted by the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, and every member of the Cabinet, that would have been laughed at. That could not possibly be true. Surely we were not living in that environment. And yet, as I sat on the floor of the House of Representatives listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu give a speech that was positively Churchillian, neither the President nor the Vice President nor any member of the Cabinet was willing to join us in the House. We have a President who insults and ridicules the Prime Minister of Israel. We have a President who celebrates a nuclear deal with Iran that I believe poses the single gravest threat to our national security of anything in the world. My opponents in this race, all four of them, pledged to maintain that Iranian nuclear deal. One of them says he'll renegotiate it. Well, let me be very clear as president, on the very first day in office, I will rip to shreds this catastrophic Iranian nuclear deal. And if you feel a sense of despair, can we keep America safe after 7 years of receding from the world? It is worth remembering that foreign policy perhaps can change the fastest. That in January 1981, this same nation, the nation of Iran, released our hostages the day Ronald Reagan was sworn into office. That's the difference a strong commander-in-chief can make, and that is the difference as president I will make unequivocally clear to Iran. Either they will shut down their nuclear program, or we will shut it down for them. New York.
All right, now, I want to get into Trump, okay? Because Trump had the best speech I thought out of all three of them. All right, so with this, and it's very, very nice and very, very good. In fact, he touts that he built the hotel that they were speaking in. All right, but here's Donald Trump.
Different problems. So it was 7 Columbus, and I basically stripped that one down. We built a tremendous building, but I had to call it 7 Columbus Circle. I said, I'm not doing it. And I went out and I really put on a big campaign in Washington, and I got it changed to number 1 Central Park West. That was good too. And you know, I figured the day I got that changed, the building was worth about 7 times more than I paid for it, right? So anyway, but this has been just an amazing event, this building. And I think of it because when I did the building, everybody said, don't do it. It can't be done. It's never going to happen. Bad area, bad location, tremendous crime. The city's dying. And the city was dying. It wasn't just like not doing well. The city was dead. And I remember when I said to a friend of mine who was in a different business, a very good business, and he was talking about what I did, I became a friend. I said, well, I'm in the real estate business in New York. And he looked at me and said, oh, that's too bad. That's how bad it was. But it turned out to be a great business, number one, and it turned out to be a great, great success as a hotel. And it was built, and Hyatt was my partner, and we did a good job, and it was, from the time it opened, it was amazing, because from the day it opened, the market changed. And that's happened with a number of jobs. That happened with me with 40 Wall Street. I bought a building, the tallest building in downtown Manhattan, bought it during the Depression, literally the Depression of the early 90s, and paid very little for it. Again, nobody wanted it. And then when I opened, it was like the world had changed, and it became a tremendously successful building, which I still have. So a lot of things happened, but with this one in particular, because when I did it, it was, people just didn't want it, especially my father. My father was the man that taught me the most. And he loaned me a small amount of money, and I built it into a great, great company. And it was, you know, just something I loved. But he was so against me coming into Manhattan. And then this became so successful, and he said, wow, paid him back the money, did other things. We did the convention center, the Jacob Javits Convention Center. I got the state and the city to build, and to this day, they were going to build that one in the water, and they had all sorts of environmental approvals. See, even then, they had environmental approvals. And they had the pierhead bulkhead problems, they had tremendous problems, and they were in the wrong location. I went to Governor Kerry, who was a Democrat, but I want to tell you, he was a great, great problem solver. And they were spending so much money on and wasting it. They couldn't get any best seats. But they understand what I'm talking about, because we wanted a contiguous pour, because the city used to pour 10 feet, come back a week later, pour another 10 feet, and yet all these blocks got, you want a contiguous pour. We had, all the way back to Harlem, we had trucks. And the most amazing thing, and they poured. It took 2 days to pour the slab. We actually made it 6 inches, because that's better. And we turned on, and we put 2 inches of water on top of this slab, and they made lasers. It was such a perfect slab. To this day, it's perfect. They then put the water on top. I said, try it. Because this thing hadn't had ice in 9 years. I said, try it. And in 2 hours, we had the most beautiful ice, just like the Montreal Canadiens. And we had our room. So I've had a lot of fun with New York, and we did another job recently in the Bronx, where it was the same thing, where they had, you know, Ferry Point. There they are. You know what I'm talking about. Ferry Point was under construction for 26 years. I mean, people say, give me a break. 26. The only reason I don't say 32 is because that can't be proven. 26 years. It ended up costing hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody knows what the price is. And Michael Bloomberg said, could you do me a favor? Could you look at this? It's a disaster. It's been under construction for so many, and he was embarrassed. And it's a very big golf project designed by Jack Nicklaus, and, you know, many, many iterations. But I got it built in 1 year, and it's open today and greatly successful. So, and by the way, and for peanuts, when I say open, am I right? That's the woman right there. She's probably on the, am I right? Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. Very nice. I don't know who the hell she is. I know she's not a protester. She's on my side. And she's certainly not a paid, I'll tell you what. You take a look outside. These are paid protesters, folks. They've got the most beautiful signs made from a factory. They're all printed out. They're handed. It said, if you want any information on the sign, please call this number. What kind of crap? We want, if they're real protesters, we want those signs made in the basement. Anyway. So then we've done many jobs since then, and it's just a great city. It's a vibrant city, an amazing city. We have to be careful. Our mayor has to be careful, because he can blow it very quickly if he keeps going the way he's going. Not doing good. We better be careful, Mr. Mayor. But we have a city that outlasts the mayors. It outlasts everybody. It's going to outlast us. It's one of the great, great cities of the world, and it's called New York City. All right? And I think while I'm at it, and you're so proud of so many of the jobs, especially I think my job on the west side of Manhattan, which is almost 6,000 units, goes from 72nd Street to 59th Street, a tremendous success, and just so many great, great experiences from New York. And we can do the same thing with our country. We can bring these jobs in under budget instead of 20 times budget. You know, we need infrastructure. We need more military. Our military is being decimated. We've got to take care of our vets. We've got to do so many things. But we can do it. Same thing. Large-scale version. Ice skating rinks and Ferry Point and all. It's all the same thing. We're doing the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. The GSA, who are total professionals, by the way, was, I think, the most competitively bid job in the history of the GSA. Everybody wanted it. Pennsylvania, the old post office. And we got it. Ivanka was working on it. We got it because our concept was great and our financial statement is great because they wanted to make sure it got built. And it's now under budget, ahead of schedule. It's going to open in September, more than a year, substantially more than a year ahead of schedule. And we'll have it open in September of this year as opposed to almost 2 years from then. And it's going to be great. It'll be open. It will be opening for our fantastic parade. You'll all join me. You guys can stay in the hotel. I'll be in the White House, and you'll stay in the hotel, okay? One of the reporters recently asked me, they said, Mr. Trump, let me ask you, if you win the presidency, sir, will you be staying in your beautiful new hotel or the White House? I said, I'll take the White House. I want to just talk just for a second about New York values. Because it's become a big subject. And I wrote a few things down, but it's just one of those things. I said, you know, I talked tonight about New York values that we all, many of us, that we all know so well. The values that make us love this state, which has been a symbol of American strength throughout the world. No matter where you go, they love New York. You know, you can be from lots of other places, and if you want to see somebody, you just say, when are you coming to New York? They always come. Everybody comes to New York eventually. There's nothing like it. So when we talk about values, what do we see in New York values? We see our really, really incredible, when you look at September 11th especially, New York police and New York firefighters. Incredible. We see our unbelievable, and they keep those trains going and those buses and everything else, but we see our transit workers, and what they went through on September 11th was incredible. We see families playing in Central Park. Thousands and thousands of families with their children. Some without children. Some together. Some not together. But we see people in Central Park and people playing in Central Park. We see restaurant workers all over the city, in delis, and factory workers in upstate New York. Unfortunately, I've spent a lot of time in upstate New York, and those factory workers are rapidly leaving our state. And we can't let that happen. And we have a whole fabric of our community. So what are New York values? Because, you know, people are disputing. I'm not disputing, and the New Yorkers aren't disputing. And most people that know New York and have watched what we've done, when you look at what happened with September 11th, the job that this city has done and the people of this city have done is beyond what anyone's ever seen. And you say, what are New York values? Number one, honesty and straight talking. Honesty, you better believe it. It's a work ethic. Hard-working people. It's about family. New York, believe it, is about family. So important. It's the energy to get things done. Big energy. If Jeb Bush came here, I'm telling you, he'd have much more energy than he has right now. Tell him. He should move to New York, right? We're builders. We make things happen. It's so important. We make things happen. And it's courage and community service, because there's tremendous community service. New York values were on display for all to see in the aftermath of 9/11, a strike at the heart of our city and our nation. In our darkest moments, as a city, we showed the world the very, very best in terms of bravery and heart and soul that we have in America. The firefighters and first responders and the police officers and the Port Authority workers who ran up those stairs, those are New York values, and those are New Yorker values. I'm not sure, is she serious or what? For the Michael Judge chaplain to the New York City Fire Department, who you know died, and an amazing guy who I knew a little bit, who a lot of people knew very well, who Rudy Giuliani really knew very well. But you look at Father Judge, and I'll tell you what, that was some guy, and he went up there to pray, and he knew what was going to happen, and he died. And he died praying and taking care of people, and he was an amazing guy. The people in the towers who helped rescue each other, those are those of New York values. The restaurants and local businesses who kept their shops open to help everybody during this incredible time, those are New York values. Everyone who helped clear the rubble and the rescue, the injured, those are New York values. Every small act of kindness, every great act of courage, of which there were so many. There's never been anything like this. This was the greatest attack and the worst and most horrific attack in the history of our country. Far greater than Pearl Harbor, because the attack was on civilians. It wasn't on the military. It was on civilians. But those are New York values. And these are the values that we need to make America great again. We need these values to bring America together again and to heal America's wounds again. So I just want to tell you that I am so proud to be with you tonight. I am so proud to be discussing all sorts of topics, but most importantly, New York values. Because no matter where you go, anywhere in the world, they talk in the most positive tones about what all of us have done. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great dinner. We're going to have an amazing election coming up. We're having some really great primaries. It's been a lot of fun for me. You know, it wasn't supposed to be this way. A lot of people said, well, what do you know?
Yeah, those are New York values. That was a very good presidential speech. I think Trump was the most presidential one at there. And in fact, my friends, I want to talk about something here. Now, we now are endorsing. Okay, hang on one moment here. Okay, hang on one moment on the calls. Okay. Now, hold on one moment. All right. Now, but anyhow, I just want to say a few things before I get to the phone calls. Okay. Now, the New York Post has endorsed Donald Trump. Okay. Let's see. The New York Post has endorsed Donald Trump, and this is what the Post said. All right. Now, Trump is a doer. As a businessman, he has created jobs for thousands, and he has proven how a private sector can rip through government red tape and get things done. These last 10 months he has ripped through a different morass of the nation's stale insider-driven politics. All right. Now, they also say, and he has done it by appealing to the public's anger at a government that's internally gridlocked when it comes to serving the people, but always able to deliver for the connected. All right. Now, they say, indeed, his political incorrectness is one of his great attractions. It proves he's not one of them. He's challenging the victim culture that has turned into a victimizing culture. In a general election, we'd expect Trump to stay true to his voters while reaching out to those who he hasn't won yet. Trump is now an imperfect messenger carrying a vital message, but he reflects the best of New York values and offers the best hope for all Americans who rightly feel betrayed by the political class. He has the potential, the skills, and the know-how, the values to live the values to live up to his campaign slogan to make America great again. For those reasons, the Post has endorsed Donald Trump in the Republican primary. All right. Now, okay, and I go through this. Now, I am supporting Donald Trump, too. And on the Democratic side, the Daily News has endorsed Hillary over Bernie Sanders, claiming that Hillary is a prepared warrior realist, and Bernie Sanders is not fit for the Oval Office because his head is in the clouds. But they're claiming that Hillary knows how to fix the economy. Hello, New York Daily News. Hillary doesn't know how to fix the economy. All right, she served as Barack Obama's Secretary of State for 4 years. All right, the economic policies of Barack Obama were partially the economic policies of Hillary. Hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Hey, Will, you got your coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I drink tea.
Oh, well, I do a lot of tea as well. Tea's great.
Yep.
Hey, I did want to say that Hillary, at $33,000 a plate to try and win the Congress over by financial voting, I want to say that the 1% that you want to get rid of that aren't paying the taxes want to run as president.
Actually, the 1% do pay taxes.
No, the 1%.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't believe the rhetoric of the left.
Okay. You gotta
the
let me
1%
talk.
do
Well,
pay
I'm not
taxes.
arguing tonight, okay?
The 1% do pay taxes.
My point being.
Don't believe the liberals.
Okay.
Okay.
You know the debt we have today.
Yes, the debt we have today is due to Barack Obama's lousy spending policies.
Okay, let me talk further. How is, and I hope Trump doesn't do this.
Trump is going to balance the budget.
You're going to talk to me. How are they taking, as government officials, the taxpayers' money, investing it for temporary jobs, and then the companies go bankrupt, or they bail out like the banks, and now the banks are making over, and then they close things down, and they take it all in as personal income using the tax monies from the laborers paid forward, and then they invest that into other Fortune 100 companies, and then the most that go without paying taxes or less taxes than the majority of people that the money from the laborers came from originally.
Look, we need to cut.
And then I want to know this:
we need to cut the taxes.
Why are they living? Corporations paying for presidential campaign sponsorship.
Corporations are people too.
Okay.
They're allowed to support whoever they want for president.
Why are they, as public officials, not living on a quoted set contract budget?
Look, our public officials work for us.
I mean, and then the debt's left to pay the laborers after they took the money and spent it, and they all make off with the
the debt is just ridiculous. It's 19 trillion going on 20 trillion.
So how much of that debt that the government
look, our kids and grandkids are going to be paying that off with interest.
The laborers, the people, and now a debt, and they're living on personal income and private bank accounts we don't even know about.
No.
Yes, they are.
No.
So why aren't they living on contract amount, county, state, or federal?
Look, our public
Why aren't
officials
they living
work
on
for
the
us.
contract agreement
Okay?
amount like everyone else?
Look, they work
That's
for
what took
us.
it to the
They
debt
work
in the
for
first
us,
place.
okay? They work for us.
And Trump used to support things, corporations.
No. Trump is a good
And then they
person.
take the government money as
Trump
government
has created
officials,
thousands of jobs.
invest those corporations.
Trump knows how to
make
fix the
temporary
economy.
Jobs to low-wage labor.
Trump knows
and
how
then
to
they
fix the
profit
economy, and he
then
will
they
do
go
it.
out of business and start
He will win
elsewhere.
the presidency.
Now we bailed out
All right, thank you. You're rambling. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, but anyhow, my friends, I want to get into the I want to get into this. All right, okay. Political points to support Donald Trump. Okay, now tomorrow is the New York primary. All right, and everybody, we need a true leader, to run this free country of ours. All right, so Donald Trump is the one that we need to vote for. All right, so the New York primaries are tomorrow, and I seriously want you to think about this. Okay, now I read to you the New York Post's endorsement of Donald Trump, but here are my reasons why I am supporting Donald Trump and why I think everybody should vote for Donald Trump. Okay, first off, Donald Trump is not a politician. He's not an insider. He's an outsider. Okay, number one. Okay, number two, he's a businessman, so he knows about the private sector. He has created jobs, and these are good-paying jobs, and he knows how to make the private sector work, and he knows. And plus, he's strong on national security. Number three, okay, national security. He has a clear-cut plan to defeat the terrorists and keep us safe here at home. Okay, he won't close Guantanamo. Okay, hold on a second. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Republican or Democrat should go against corruption.
Yeah, well, if you vote Republican, you will go against corruption.
Right.
Because if you vote Republican, you will go no. If you vote Republican, you will defeat corruption. If you will defeat the corruption, because Hillary is the corruption. Okay, Hillary is the corruption. All right. So vote Republican and vote for Donald Trump. Okay. Let's see. Donald Trump, okay, has cited Larry Kudlow. Okay, on Larry Kudlow was the former advisor to Ronald Reagan. All right, and he says Larry Kudlow loves Trump's tax plan, and so thus there won't be a trade war. Okay, and we want strong borders. Okay. So vote for Trump, all right? And now I need to get. We are running out of time here, so I need to get down to the last words for the night. Okay. Now, okay, I want to take you to this. Okay, the Ithaca Times. Okay. Now, in the local Ithaca Times, they have a picture of on the front cover of Richard Nixon, okay, back in the 50s when he was campaigning and he came to Ithaca. All right, now the Ithaca Times takes us back to the times when presidential candidates cared to come to Ithaca. In fact, okay, there's a whole thing. Richard Nixon came in 1956 to Ithaca, and then Theodore Roosevelt came in 1899, and then Also John Sparks Stevens, who was running, in 1952, came to Ithaca, and Thomas E. Dewey came to Cornell in 1948. All right, but also in the Ithaca Times, there's a picture of me in there for the question of the week, which was, for which presidential candidate did you first vote for? Okay, I said Ross Perot, and back then I was independent, and I voted for Ross Perot. Okay, I was independent until George W. Bush, and then I became a Republican. All right, but anyway, that's our show for tonight, my friends. We thank you for watching Political Point magazine, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. All right, follow me on Twitter at WilliamMitro2, and check me out on YouTube. All right. Once again, thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. Vote for Trump.